Yo. Alright. Tony Iommi. Featuring Tony Iommi. Featuring Black Sabbath. Get it? Get it? It's like almost Sabbath, but it's just not black enough. That's my review, everybody. Thank you. Good night. Okay, no, just kidding. Listen, In for the Kill is the first track off this myopic opus. It's pretty heavy, kind of. I mean, it's heavier than what Deep Purple came out with, like Perfect Strangers, right? So in a sense, yeah, Sabbath seems to be okay here, but what this really sounds like to me is that it's a leftover track from the Born Again days, or a B-side, or a track that just didn't make it. Funnily enough, Hughes is from that camp, the Ian Gillan camp, so it kind of makes sense that it sounds almost exactly like just another track, but it is missing that dark energy and that sound, that just like piercing treble, it's like a fucking wave of static, high pitch electricity. Like it decimates your ears, like in such a heavy metal fashion. I mean, that was basically a really good representation of what heavy metal is. It's abrasive. It's very in your face, loud, and almost piercing through your head from one ear to the other. That's heavy metal, like in its purest form. Born Again. It's evil, it's dark, it's fun, and it has some cool sounds. Like Tony, you heard him experimenting, Stonehenge, and it was just a band that was still very much alive and feeling young and capable. Now, with Seventh Star, it was very boring. It's very adult. It was very adult contemporary. It's just very, predictable and just typical Iommi fare. Very forgettable stuff. While the wah-wah sounds good, it's very thick, but it's nowhere near the greatness of the album before it. And it's a damn shame, that it can't be this. It can't be that awesome. Like Sabbath can't go on forever being awesome and being something that represents themselves, which is loud, rebellious rock and roll, heavy metal. But this to me just sounds like Tony just settling down and maybe going to AA, and he's looking at bands like Whitesnake and next we have, what do we have? No Stranger to Love. Speaking of Whitesnake, this is a total Whitesnake ripoff. It's just like as if that song by Whitesnake, I ain't no stranger to love, as if it kind of multiplied or it copied itself, but it's like a lesser copy. It's not the original. It's just a faded copy of itself. Yeah. So yeah, it's almost sentimental or dramatic stuff, and it's just very bluesy. This is not a metal band like Black Sabbath. This is not something they should be doing. And if they're gonna do it, they should do it with a bit more uniqueness to their sound, as opposed to every other blues hard rock band since the 70s has songs like this that just are very tedious and very obviously primed to hit like the radio FM waves and the charts. But this is not something you would want to expect from a Black Sabbath record. But then again, it's almost as if Tony just has given up on his youthful, crazy, wild days, and now he's paying a mortgage He's wearing a tie every day, every morning. He has his eggs and bacon, and he works 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Sometimes he stays on the weekends because he feels a sense of responsibility when the company needs him, and he does need more money because he's just your regular Joe paying the bills like every other schmuck. So he's worried about the gas bill. He's worried about how much the hot water heater is charging him every minute that goes by. So I think his priorities switched, and now he's just he just wants to be a good dad, and he wants to be a good husband, and he wants to just settle down and maybe play cards with the boys every 2 weeks or something, or every 3 weeks, Saturday afternoon or something. And that's it, man. This is what you're listening to, background music. This is like someone's life. It sounds like they would listen to something like this while they're doing their taxes and helping their kids out with their homework and stuff. And this is just very safe, easygoing.
Black Sabbath, everyone. Wholesome, heavy metal Black Sabbath for the entire fam. Imagine that show with Al Bundy, but if there's no jokes, and you just see him suffering with his wife, and at the shoe store, and he's regretting everything, but there's no punchlines, there's no jokes, there's no sarcasm, right? At least keeping you laughing through the tragedy that is the modern man in 1985 or 86. I think this was released. I can't remember. Either way, there was so many other bands that were taking off from the underground and giving us something just a lot more, I don't know, something a lot more, way more interesting, evolved and exciting. Not just like your combo, your number one combo that you always buy when you go to McDonald's or some garbage restaurant like that. And you're just used to the tradition of doing that. It's a ritual. For you, it's a ritual to listen to the music that turned you on to music, so you never really wanted more than that. You never explored other crazy genres or looked underground to where other bands of different styles are evolving to, and you're not really fascinated by much of anything else other than what captivated you at one point in your coming of age, and then that's it, and then you went on to build a life. This is background music for a life. This is not something that will make you go nuts and wild, and it's just there to tap your toes if you manage to remember you're listening to music. This is just, it's fodder. Alright? That's what it is. Heavy fodder metal. It's not heavy enough though. It's just, I don't know, man. This style has been done so many times. It's like, whenever British heavy metal, the bands like Raven and I don't know, Diamond Head and stuff, and they all had they slightly pick up their tempo, and then you can headbang to it easier, right? And then sing along, turn to stone, and it's just so fucking boring. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Let me see after this what we have. Danger Zone. It's just more of the same. It's just it's hard to tell all these songs from each other because they're just very generic, and it's almost like it's done on purpose. It's like, let's just keep all the crazy antics down and see if we can sell this to moms now. Heart Like a Wheel. It's like it's like Alana Miles. Remember her Black Velvet, if you please, but with less of a personality, or with a cringy. This has cringy sex vibes. Not saying that Black Velvet is an amazing song or anything, but it does kind of give you the sense of if someone's actually really horny on stage and they're talking to you or singing to you. If that's what it sounds like. But this is just like really cringe. Like this is, it's so obvious. Like this is something that is for the ladies out there or their husbands, because everybody in the audience after this album was definitely married with a mortgage and 2 kids and a dog, and they worked their asses off, right? And this is the kind of music where, now they're adults and they're being responsible. They're just having 1 or 2 beers and then they cut it off and then they go home early because they gotta work tomorrow, right? So at least they got to dance with their wives or their mistresses, and got all down and bluesy, and yeah, baby, get it on, cause that's what life is all about. Well, but I'm here to tell you, this is not heavy metal, man. Songs like this is just like when you go to a jazz club, and then there's people just like dancing really close to each other. To be invested in this kind of music after a while, I don't know, it's kind of corny, It's like, and then Iommi tries to go all Jimmy Page sloppy for the solo, but what can you do? You gotta forgive him. He was definitely an AA at this time. Like, I don't care what the papers say or whatever. I don't care if you talk to Tony Iommi himself, and he tells you that no, he was still drinking and partying and playing with his pals. But it's just forget about it. Forget about it.
We were the most unlikely bunch to succeed.
Yeah, you can definitely listen to this whole album with your grandma, and she wouldn't bat an eye. After you put, Slayer or even Born Again, I'm sure to her it sounds like, oh, this is very actually relaxing and enjoyable. It's like maybe my grandson is turning a leaf and now he's settling down and becoming an adult. But he ain't got no mortgage. In memory, the last crap song on this crap album, in memory of Young Evil Sabbath, and in memory of Iommi's wild riff mojo. No more Mojo Jojo for Tony Iommi Ojo. Rest in peace, man. You gave us some good music until 1985, 86, whatever it is. Thanks, man. I hope you got rid of that jacket, because it just makes you look like you're Bon Jovi lent it to you when you stayed at his house after being his guitar tech for the entire Bad Medicine tour. That is all. And I hope that you understand a little bit better why you're wrong about this awful album. 7 stars. 7 stars. It's a bloody joke, bro. It was just obligation to the record company. It's crap.